Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Today with Tanya, and I'm your host, Tanya Gibson. And on today's show, we are talking about a great action plan for dads. The author of the book that we're sharing information from is Bob Hamron. I am so excited about this show on this morning. I know that we are going to have just a great time sharing. I want to go ahead. I had a special request from a family member. A few weeks ago, I played the song that God favored me, and they wanted me to play that again for them today so they could just be encouraged in the Lord. And I want to do that. And right after this song, we will get started with our action plan for being a great dad.
But
Tanya. That was me singing live today. That God favored me. I had a cousin I played that. I had recorded it, and it was just something I did, for myself. And one day I was just really feeling moved, and she wanted to hear that on today. So I hope she heard it, and I pray that she was encouraged in the Lord, and she knows that God favors her. On today's show, we are talking about, I'm so excited, an action plan for being a great dad. How many know in today's time this is really needed? I just want to say to our fathers that are tuning in, congratulations for taking the time out of your busy schedule to learn the 6 basics of being a great dad. I'm glad you're with us, and I expect great things to occur from this seminar today. Indeed, I believe that this time that we spend together will be meaningful and significant in your life. Let me make a bold statement here. A lot of times we say if. Well, I have to tell you, if you commit towards your children and you commit to having a specific action plan, I promise you that you will be on your way down the right pathway to being a great dad. First, let me start with a caveat here from Bob Hamron. It says, I cannot guarantee that even if you practice all of the 6 basics, that great kids will result. The output side simply has too many factors at work to make assurances. The guarantee, though, that I can offer you is this. You will be a great dad to the extent you put these 6 basics into play in your life on a daily basis. In short, you will have done your part on the input side. And remember, it's more likely than not that great input will lead to what? Great output. The more you conscientiously and effectively practice the 6 basics, the greater the likelihood that your children will have a positive outlook on life. The moral and spiritual values that they will need to handle challenges of life and a close relationship with God. I hope you enjoy our seminar today, but most of all, I hope you experience the richly satisfying joy of fathering each and every day. I can't stress to you the importance of a father being in your life. I'm a woman, and for me, my dad helped to really mold and shape who I am, and I'm just every day just so thankful that I had him in my life because he gave me that foundation that I needed as a father. I have a great mother, but my dad, when he was alive, he was a great father because he helped to establish, who I am, and he gave me confidence, and he gave me, he helped to build my self-esteem, and he reassured me, and he was constantly there to say, yes, you can do this, that reach for this because you will, attain it, that I didn't have to worry about what people were saying. Be confident in myself. Be assured in God that I can do things, and because of that, I've had just an extraordinary life, and I thank God for what my father sowed into me. He wasn't just someone who gave birth to me, he and my mother. He was my dad, my father, my friend. And so I greatly miss him. Sometimes when I'm going through some things, I said, man, I'd give anything if Dad was here. Let me give you 6 basic things that we're going to go over today. And, we don't have an overabundance of time. Our show ends at 11:30, but I want to just hit and miss on these. You are free to call in. The call-in number is 646-716-4351. That's 646-716-4351. Again, I am your host, Tanya Gibson. We will talk about the basics: provide unconditional love and affection, spend time, communicate constantly and creatively, partner with mom, instill moral and spiritual values, and then establish my fathering legacy. Wow. We're going to cover a lot. Let me give you a little something here that I found and I thought was just extraordinary. It said, wanted a great dad. You have the following duties and responsibilities to your children. I want you to know that today. To love them, to feed them, to take care of them. When they're sick, play with them, educate them, discipline them, be a good friend to them, and occasionally do something goofy to embarrass them in front of their friends. You can't slack off, Dad. You can't quit, and there aren't too many breaks that you get. Your job is always there, 24 hours a day, regardless of the nature of your other job. Oh, yes, there is a bonus plan, though. In return, your kids most likely will love you back. They will frustrate you. They will make you laugh. They will make you crazy. They will anger you and make you really, really proud of them. Isn't that just awesome? That is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's jump right into our lesson. What is the definition of a dad? Well, if he's wealthy and prominent and you stand in awe of him, call him father. If he sits in his shirt sleeves and suspenders at a ball game and picnic, call him pop. If he wheels the baby carriage and carries bundles meekly, call him papa, with the accent on the first syllable. If he belongs to a literacy circle and writes culture papers, call him papa, with the accent on the last syllable. If, however, he makes a pal of you when you're good and is too wise to let you pull the wool over his loving eyes when you're not, if, moreover, you're quite sure that he knows exactly what's going on, then guess what? If he's there to reassure you, to comfort you, to give you encouragement, you may call him dad. 2 Timothy 4:7 says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Remember that, fathers, you're in a race for raising your children, providing the basics, unconditional love and affection. What is unconditional love? Well, loving your child for the unique, infinitely valuable being that he or she is, regardless of performance. Let me say that again, regardless of performance, attitude, behavioral pattern, or specific behavior. Love that is always there, regardless of the circumstances. Love with no strings attached. Wow, we're talking about an awesome, awesome giving type of love. We're really talking about what the Bible calls an agape type of love, because there are no strings and no conditions attached to that. I just love you because I love you. Amen? That's really good. Second, spend time. See, kids' idea of a happy family is doing things together. We get so confused. We feel like I got to give them all this stuff and let me pack their rooms with the latest game and get them the latest phone and the latest stuff and give them lots of money to go shopping. Well, they like that too. But the most valuable thing that you can do as a father is spend time with them. Having established some family traditions. In my household growing up, Saturday was family day. We would get up, my dad would take us out to breakfast, then we would go, shopping, and then he would take us to the movies. It was really a great day that we looked forward to being with our father and our mother, and he was adamant about that, and no one could change those plans. Learn about work and family when we're talking about spending time, Teddy Roosevelt said, every rightly constituted woman or man, if she or he is worth her or his salt, must feel that there is no such ample reward to be found anywhere in life as the reward of children and the reward of a happy home life. Wow. So you have to make time. You have to establish some traditions and talk with them and go outside and throw the frisbee or the football or go take them to a game, but spend time with them. They want you to spend time with them. And I can tell you as a daddy's girl, for those that have daughters, we want you to say meaningful things to us. My dad would assure me that I was beautiful. He would assure me that I was capable. He would always encourage me to try things, to step out of the box and do things. And I am so grateful for that. I tell you, I've been all over the world because of a man that was raised in Alabama that didn't even have running water in the house, but he could see past where we were. And I thank God for him every day. What an awesome dad. And I want you to take this action plan seriously where you can be a great dad. Moving on to step 3. Communicate constantly and creatively. Here's one where fathers and mothers, but fathers, we run into issues because we really don't know what to say, especially when they start to get a little older. When they're younger, you can kind of amuse them, but as they get older and they start with peer pressure and different things in life come their way and they start to experience different things, we don't know what to do. Well, surveys of teens show that they do want to talk to their parents. When teens under stress were asked who they turned to for help in crisis, dads were ranked 48 on the list. Oh, my God, that's terrible. Moms were rated number 2. A friend was first and then mom. We got to change that, Dad. Importance of good communication as a father. The importance of listening. If you listen when they're little, they'll still be talking when the subjects are important. If you don't listen, then you may never know what's truly going on with your children. They won't ever feel comfortable enough to share with you, and we don't want that to occur. We want you to know exactly what's going on. Listen. Fathers, ask and share. Fathers, do not expect or exasperate your children by being demanding. Have special times, special forums for communication. Well, I'm getting tongue-tied here. At my home, what we do is we have a family meeting. That way we can discuss some things, and then the kids have the right where they can call for a family meeting if it's something that really, really needs to be discussed, and we vote on things, and that gives them a voice in what we do, and it makes them feel a part of the whole. That is very important that you communicate with your children. Fourthly, partner with the mother. Parenting together. I cannot overstate this statement. It is so important that you partner with the mom, whether you're the husband, whether you're the stepfather, whether you're living there or you're not living there. It's so important that you partner with the mom. Children want two things: the unconditional love of their parents and parents who stay together. If you have to parent from afar, learn to communicate nicely and effectively with the other parent. I'm sorry, there is no way you can get around it. I know you would love, some of you, not to have anything to do with the other partner. You may not have that type of relationship where you can communicate without getting into it. But for the sake of the children, you have to learn to do that. For those that are married, be all that you can be to your wife. Be all that you can be to your partner, and let her know, listen to her, and let her communicate what she feels about raising the children and what her thoughts and concerns are. That way, when you guys tackle an issue or something arises in the home, you're on the same page. Because I can tell you, buddy boy, they learn very early how to put the parents against each other. They know how to play us. But if we are on the same page, then there is nothing that they can do, and they will learn to love and appreciate us as their parents. Moving on to step 5, because we're getting short in time, is still moral and spiritual values. Here, values are number 1. One of the main desires of adolescents today, and I know you're going to be surprised, is for their parents to provide ethical and spiritual value systems to guide them. Robert Cole says, parents who want to give their children the best chance in life will give them a strong set of values. 80% of teens believe nobody can know for certain what truth is. Wow. Where do our kids get their values from? I'm looking here, and my information here is telling me that 40% of our teens and our youth, they get their values from the TV station. You know, my son is going in and out of the door. They know when I'm on the air that we don't do that with the studio, and they're going in and out. So I apologize if you are hearing any of that in the background as we are sharing on the show today. Then I want to touch on that you need to model what you want your children to become. To be a great dad, you must have your life priorities straight and your act together emotionally and spiritually. Proverbs 23 and 26 says, my son, give me your heart and let your eyes keep to my ways. Wow. You need to learn to take stock of what you're doing, Dad, and commit to doing what you need to do to help with the development of your child. Being a man of integrity means keeping my word. One nagging promise to my child that I must now keep is, I want you to decide what it is that you said you're going to do that maybe you haven't done, that you need to keep your word to your child. We're moving right along. I'm just so excited about this. Establish my fathering legacy. What do you mean by that? Well, it's so important that our children know where they came from, who they are, and what's expected of them, and where they are going. Because that helps to give them that foundation, and that helps them to know why it is that Dad worked so hard for what he did, and where I came from and what my roots are about. When your child is standing up for graduation and special ceremonies, you want them to say that I'd like to thank my dad, and I'd like to thank my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather. What a great thing for them to say. Most of the changes needed are a matter, I want you to hear this today, of attitude and focus. Here's a specific action plan I want today. That's what you need to write down and say to start on a great path to being a great dad. And I want you to know that you are not alone. May God richly bless you with the joy of being a great dad. I want to share with you before we close out the vision and mission. The overall vision is to encourage fathers across America to turn their hearts to their children. This turning will greatly enrich and enhance the lives of their children. As these men commit to being great dads, they will become part of a nationwide and eventually worldwide movement that will have immense positive consequences for your children, for fathers, and for the world. The specific vision for children is to see their lives enriched by having a great dad who loves them unconditionally, spends significant time with them, and carves out a rich fathering legacy. The mission is to equip fathers through a practical training, supportive resources, and inspiration to make and live out lifelong commitments to be great dads. Listen, I host a lot of seminars, and I was so encouraged when I saw this book to share this with you by Dr. Robert Hamlin, who is the founder of Great Dads. He started that organization in 1996. Very briefly before we close out, I want to go back and give you the 6 because I want to make sure that you have them. First, as a dad, provide unconditional love and affection. Secondly, spend time. Thirdly, communicate constantly and creatively. Then partner with the mom. Fifth, instill moral and spiritual values. Lastly, establish your fathering legacy, which is a time for you to commit. I want you to learn to commit on today to being a great dad. Let me tell you, it's not hard to do. When I went back and I thought about, my life as a child, and then as a teenager, and then as a young adult, and then as a wife and mother, I am so elated that I had the type of father that was there every step of the way. He was committed to being my father. He was committed to being a great dad. He was committed to establishing a great fathering legacy. As dads, you're establishing what type of guy your daughter's looking for. She wants somebody like Dad. My dad was the guy that you could depend on. He was supportive. He always gave great compliments. He was loving and caring and giving. But most of all, he was the head of our household, and we knew that if Dad said no, it meant no, and that there was a reason behind it because he had great moral character. And he established that early on with us, so we respected him as our dad. I want you on today to really, really, really grasp this. I want you to get the concept. I want you to be encouraged by it. I want you to share with your friends. That is so important that you be a great dad. I also want you to know that even though the show is ending in a few minutes here, you still can come back into my radio show, and you can listen to the show again and share it with your friends. It's so important that we get the word out about being a great dad. In today's society, we're missing that one thing. Mom maybe can be a great mom because I feel that I'm a great mom, but mom can't be a dad. It takes a dad to be a dad. And fathers out there that have had children, your children need you. They need you to establish who they are. They need you to show them what it means for a man to love them. I'm telling you, your daughters are modeling after you. Your sons are modeling after you. Let it be a great example for them to model after. Don't let them wound up on the news or in a place that we don't want our children to be. I was just so excited about this show, and as always, I am always so humbled. I'm always so thankful, so grateful that God has given me these platforms to share information with you. It's so important that we educate ourselves. I can't express that or talk about it any more than what I'm doing, but it's so very important. And there are ways to equip yourself for the things that you need to know. And I'm one of those people, I seek out information because I want to make sure that I'm up on things, that I'm in the right place, that I'm abreast of what's important to my family, to the world around me, and I encourage you to do that. But dad, action plan for being a great dad. Listen, if you want this information and you want a copy of what the 6 steps are, send me an email to TanyaGibson1@AOL.com. That's TanyaGibson1@AOL.com. Once again, thank you for sharing on today's with Tanya, and I'm your host, Tanya Gibson. Until next time, be encouraged, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Oh, yeah. I'm about to get praise on up in here. Yeah. Come on, everybody. Let's make some noise. For God is worthy to be praised. I gotta sing, gotta dance, praise Him with my hands. I gotta sing, gotta dance, praise Him with promise he'll see you through. He'll free you from your sins and give you peace within. Let's praise. Oh yes, I've got to praise. Oh yeah, yeah, I got to praise. Sure enough, I've got to praise. Yeah, listen now. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've been through. Let me tell you what God can do. He will be your friend till the very end. He said whatever you need, you can find it in me. Let's praise. Oh yes, I've got to praise. Oh yeah, yeah, I've got to praise. Oh yes, I've got to praise. Yeah. Do you dance? Wave your hands. Do you dance? Wave your hands. Do you dance? Wave your hands. Do you dance? Wave your hands and praise. Oh yes, I've got to praise. Yeah, I've got to praise. Oh yes, I've got to praise. Oh yeah, yeah. Do you dance? Wave your hands. Do you dance? Wave your hands. Do you dance? Wave your hands. Do you dance? Wave your hands and praise. Oh yes, I've got to praise. Oh yeah, yeah, I've got to praise. Oh yes, I've got to praise. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Lord said if I just keep still, he'll fight my battles. Yes, he will. He is coming. Will not delay, for only God can make a way. Gotta put on the better truth, buckle it around my waist with the breastplate of righteousness. Make sure your sin is placed. Fit my feet with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition, take up the shield of faith. You'll need it to run this race. Put on the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit. Pray on all occasions. Make your request known before Him. The Lord said, if I just keep still, He'll fight my battles. Yes, He will. He is coming. Will not delay, for only God can make a way. Remember, the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but the one who makes it till the end. It's not by power or by might, for we were healed by His stripes. Let it go, reach for it, press forward, move on. Let it go, reach for it, press forward, move on. Let it go, reach for it, press forward, move on. The Lord said, if I just keep still, He'll fight my battles. Yes, He will. He is coming. Will not delay, for only God can make a way. Gotta put on the better truth, buckle it around my waist with the breastplate of righteousness. Make sure your sin is plain. Fit my feet with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition, take up the shield of faith. You'll need it to run this race. Put on the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit. Pray on all occasions, making your request known before Him. God said if I just keep still, God said if I just keep still, fight my battles, yes He will. Let it go, reach for it, press forward, move on. Let it go, reach for it, press forward, move on.
Singing for the Lord.
Singing for the Lord, working for the Lord. I'm on the battlefield. Yeah.
Marching for the Lord.
Yeah.
Singing for the Lord.
Singing for the Lord. Yes. I'm on the battlefield. On the battlefield. On the battlefield.
Singing for the Lord.
Yes, I am.
For the Lord.
I'm on the battlefield. Marching for the Lord, working for the Lord, yeah. Let it go. Reach for it, press forward, I'm on the battlefield. Yes, Lord, move on. Let it go. Reach for it, press forward, I'm on the battlefield. Press forward, move on. Let it go. Reach for it, press forward, I'm on the battlefield. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe